You know, it's sometimes important that we just remind ourselves, guys on the camera, I'm going to wander a little bit. I'll get to the talk and I'll stay put. It's important that we remind ourselves, how long will this infinite presence of light and love us, give to us, serve us, as long as we're willing to receive? And when we celebrate new members of the family, as if it's almost like a new baby being born, and we say to that child, how long will I love you? How deeply will I love you? How powerfully will I love you? And what we say as parents to our children, as long as it takes, as deeply as it takes, as patiently as it takes, whatever it takes, I will love you. We live in an energy field that says that to us, each and every one of us as a child of God. It cannot and will not withdraw its love. No matter what anybody's saying about it in the world, it cannot. It does not know to withdraw that love. It lives and breathes and has its being as all creation. And so everywhere we look, that presence is absolutely shining and taking care of us, just like you taking care of a baby. It is holding you. It is loving you. And the talk today ruffled a few feathers in the first service. And it was a really powerful dialogue because there were people that say, what about the ones that don't have anything to give, that are empty? What about the ones that are so vulnerable and so hurting when they come into your doors that they have nothing else to give? So I thought it was perfect to say, sometimes you are the receiver. You must be the receiver. The baby must be the receiver. And sometimes as children of God, we are going to simply be the receiver. I have nothing to give. But then we get filled up when we allow ourselves to receive. And when we take that on, then we have something. Maybe it feels like a speck and it feels like nothing, but it is ours to then give it away. If we hold it and don't keep the circle going, membership doesn't work. The baby learns to love. We are taught to love, just as we are taught to hate. We are taught to be compassionate. We are taught to care. We are taught to love, just as children are sometimes taught to create a sense of duality of better and less than. And I want you to let that be the foundation. But make no mistake about it, with the words I'm about to share with you, there are moments where you must be a receiver. That is a reciprocal energy that is an important part of the process. So I want to begin with a poem. I've come back. Did you notice I came back to the podium? For all you people online, the cameras are always trying to find me. They're always trying to find me. So you may have noticed I'm standing behind this a lot more. That's very intentional. So if I don't look over here at you people and don't look over there at you, please don't take it personally. A selection, a poem by Rumi, a part of a poem by Rumi, this Sufi poet. I'm going to invite you to read this with me. Let's go ahead and put the first slide up there together. You come to us from another world, from beyond the stars and a void of space, transcendent, pure, of unimaginable beauty. You transform all who are touched by you. Mundane concerns, troubles, and sorrows dissolve in your presence, bringing joy to ruler and ruled, to peasants and kings. You bewilder us with your grace, and all evil is transformed into goodness. You are the master alchemist. You know, many people look at that and say, well, Rumi's talking about God. He's talking about that infinite light and that ultimate reality of love and life. That's what he's talking about. And you can read it that level. As I prepared for a talk called The Alchemy of Love, I said, no, he's talking about the energy of love itself, coming from beyond and transforming the planet. I typically like love as my name for God. Find the name that works for you. But it seems more potent to me, and it certainly transcends a lot of my history when I say that God and love are synonymous. But as I prepared for this morning's message, I said, what if Rumi is talking about you, Beverly? What if we read that? Go ahead and look at the words. What if we read that as if Rumi is speaking about you? You know, it's an important thing in the unity movement. If there is only one power and presence, and it is expressed at the point of view, Rumi is talking about you. When Rumi talks about God, and we talk about God, and we talk about love, and you talk about love, we're talking about you as the offspring, the ambassador, the hands, the feet, the heart, and the soul of God. Yes? That's hard for some people to swallow. But just read that as I continue to talk and put that as if Rumi is calling you out, calling love's presence as you out. to be the alchemy, the alchemist, to take the love that you are, the love that you have been given, the love that you are vibrating, and to give it out into the world in such a way that the entire world is transformed and changed. We are the great uniters. We are the great healers. We are the great alchemists. Say that with me. We are the great alchemists. Together, we, one heart at a time. It's part of our mission and vision here, transforming the world one heart at a time. You know, there is a force that since the beginning of time has been wanting to have expression. Call it God, call it love, call it light. I don't care what you call it. It is wanting to have expression. It is wanting to be expressed. It is wanting to have relationship with itself. And it is forever evolving, forever becoming, forever popping and grooving and moving towards a higher vibration of itself on earth. And we are called, well, first of all, we are that vibration. You represent an evolution of consciousness. You represent an evolution of love, but it is calling for more. And so, yes, the minister must challenge you to be more of yourself. That's my job. However uncomfortable it might be, I want to raise the bar. Now, if you're in the receiving mode, be in the receiving mode, but don't waste the gifts that this congregation gives you to see you as love. Then go spread the message. Go spread the truth. That force, since the beginning of time, is the great creator, the healer, the influencer, the alchemist, and it is in the center of every person in this room right now. It's not something distant from you. It's not something you'll know and find if you're a good person on earth, that you'll get to see the face of God. The face of God is in the mirror looking out at you every single morning you get up and you go, good God. It is good God looking right back at you. And that's the face of God looking back at you when you're hugging your child, you're holding a baby, you're holding somebody who's in the dark night of the soul. That is the face of love itself. And it's the same face of love when you can transcend your judgments and your opinions and your experience and your history to go, that SOB over there is also the face of God. That person over there who I really, really don't like is also the face of God. And if I can't see it, that's not their problem as much as it is my problem. There is a call from the center of the universe to transform the planet. And until we stop looking at just the effects of bad behaviors and start looking to the core, the meat, the essence, the divine essence, at the bottom of it all, nothing will change. We are called to be agents of change. Yes? If you just accept status quo and join on the parade and the train that says, well, there are good people and bad people, guess what? There will always be good people and bad people. I don't want to be just another religion that separates sheep from goats. They're going to hell. They're going to heaven. Love does not make a distinction between sheep and goats and mules and llamas and human beings. Love cannot do that. Love does not do that. And we believe in a loving essence and a loving presence that expresses at the point of you. Now, this is a love that we have never known before because it is far greater than relationship. It is far greater than an emotion. We have trivialized love to a point that we think it's just about romance. Today, I'm asking you to choose one person. We're on Valentine's Day. It's coming up. Remember the little candy hearts? I love this. Still, I have a little kid. I love those candy hearts. I love getting them from my grandkids. And my favorite of all the candy hearts was the one that said, be mine. Be mine. And the world can look at that as, well, I'm choosing you as my spouse for the rest of my life. I'm choosing you as my sweetheart or as my romantic partner. I'm telling, let's give each other be mine hearts that are energetic today. And it has nothing to do with romance and everything to do with you've come into my field. You, Chris Anderson, are a part of my field right now, and I choose you to be the recipient of all the love that I have to give. I choose you, Ted Worrell, as the person in my life who right now, in this moment, on earth, in this skin, in this church, in this sanctuary, gets the laser-like power of love, the ability to transform one person's life. How many people have ever had somebody reach out and just say something, do something, express something to you completely unexpectedly, and you became somebody different? Love is an alchemical process. Once there was nothing here, no understanding, no awareness, and somebody said something, or somebody just reached out and touched me and let me know that I was not alone, and all of a sudden, I was transformed. I was transformed, I was changed, and I remembered who I was when I had forgotten. That's what love can do. And love is much more than a feel-good idea. It's a force so profound that it can change the world in an instant, like that. So many of us are watching the news and going, why doesn't God do something? Why doesn't God send somebody? Yes, God did do something, and God sent somebody, and it's wearing your skin. Love is doing something, but we've got to play our role and stop playing small. And even when we're empty. This person that challenged me for service, and I really appreciated the opportunity to spend time talking. She says, what if I'm empty? We can't be empty. You're on earth, you're still in the skin, you have something of value. You have something of worth, and it may be insignificant in the grand scheme of the world, but it is the most significant thing that you're the one that reaches out and touches somebody's hand. That you're the one that has the kind word that seems so small. Give it away. I tell you, and I preach this sermon a lot, service is the highest form of knowing prayer. I found God in service, not in the dark night of the soul, but even when I was empty and I was asleep and I had forgotten, I still had the capacity to reach out and touch somebody's arm. And in that exchange of energy, that exchange of love, something changed within me. As within, so it shall be without. Love is merely a possibility that is completely and totally dormant. It's ethereal. It does not have anything to do with the earth, but we are not an accident. We are here on earth at this time to be the portal, to be the vehicle, to be the avenue through which love is made manifest. That's our job. And it's so easy to say, I love you. Have you noticed that? I love everybody. That's easy. I love everyone. It's a wonderful blanket statement. That's God's job. That's God's job. Our job is to take that incredible power and to narrow the way and say, today, Ray gets my love. Today, Michelle gets my love, and I will make a difference right here, right now, by being the touch of God, by being the touch of love, by being the mouthpiece of God, as they say in the Baha'i movement. Love requires to be narrowed and focused in its expression to individuals. Make it personal. Take it personally. Use it in a personal way that affects individuals one heart at a time. Now, I'm going to dance on the edge of blasphemy here. I like to do that. It's kind of fun. You've heard me mess with John 3:16, which my Christian brothers and sisters really don't like. I'm going to mess with another one that has been used as a weapon to divide people. And that is the Gospel of Matthew chapter 7, when Jesus says this, together, narrow is the way that leadeth unto life. One of the most misunderstood scriptures on the planet. Narrow is the mind, is how it's been interpreted. Narrow is the mind to say that my way is the only way. You have to think the way I think. You have to believe the way I believe. That is a very narrow-minded way. But that's not what Jesus is talking about. Just consider for a moment, he's talking about the blanket. That's God's job. I love you. That we are called to take all those powers in a narrow way and to dictate them to one heart. Maybe two hearts, maybe three hearts. But to as many hearts as you possibly can, to take it and to be personal about it. Marie, I know you as love. And I know sometimes you forget. I want to be a reminder for you and love you so much that you cannot help but take that love and pass it to somebody else. That's what narrowing is about. And in that, more life for Marie. More life for the person she passes it on to. More life for the community. Because we were not willing to just play in the ethereal realm of possibility, I love you all, and then go about the business of being a human being creating duality. No, I'm saying take it personally, make it personal. Love is less powerful here than it is here, Laura. Emmett Fox writes this. So go and put the next quote up there. Love, when it is narrowed and focused in and laser-like has the ability to transform pain into healing, difficulty into flow, anger and violence into peace and harmony. This is what Emmett Fox says. Can you read that? Is it too small? It's a little small for me back there, so I'm going to look down. Let's read it together. There is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer, no disease that love will not heal, no door that enough love will not open. It makes no difference how deep set the trouble, how hopeless the outlook, how muddled the tangle, how great the mistake. A sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. So when thinking about the SOB over here, or the annoying person over there, a sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. And this was the dialogue we had first service. Can me vibrating only at the center of love be enough? We live in a both-and universe, and there were those in the room that said that's enough. That there are people that can go in a cave and people come to them and they're vibrating at love and instant transformation. I believe that's possible. I don't know if any of them are in this room. If you are, please invite us to your cave. But the both-and universe says, yes, I am the hands of that guru that's vibrating at love. I am the feet, I am the heart, I am the mouthpiece, I am the energy of God put into play on the field. There's a Super Bowl coming up. Any Kansas City Chiefs fans in the room? I'm still praying for the miracle that somehow we can go back in time and the San Francisco 49ers are there, somehow. I think I may be waiting a while for that miracle, at least one season. But the reality is, both-and universe says, yes, radiate, see that person here and there as love itself, and then get busy demonstrating it. And then walk into their field and tell them, you know, I used to call you an SOB, but I know you as love now. Can we work this out? I forgive myself for the judgment I had of you. I forgive your behaviors. I want to get to the place where love can change. Right here, laser focused. No, I love you, the world, jerk. No, I love you, SOB. That doesn't heal anything. And I'm just calling us out as New Thought people. We're really good. We talk a good game. But it is all an act of self-gratification to say, I love you, and then do nothing. That's self-aggrandizing. Don't I feel good about myself? I love everybody. Talk is cheap. Let me go tell the person that is my greatest teacher, I love them. I'm sorry. There is no wall. We must come to the place, using that Emmett Fox quote, we need to make it specific, intentional, and purposeful. What wall am I taking down? What door am I choosing to laser in on and open? What mistake, what difficulty, and what tangle is being untangled by love's presence as me? I am responsible for love's presence right here. Specifically, particularly as me. That's not anybody else's responsibility. Not Buddha, not Krishna, not Jesus, not Sherry, not Bill, not Kathy. It is mine. There's somebody sitting next to you right now that needs you to be their Savior. There's somebody sitting right next to you right now that needs to be reminded you're not alone. I'm here. And that seems really simple. Love as a blanket is good to a point, but love as a laser is potent. And ours is to gather its infinite power and channel it in the direction of specific targets. How do we guide that? How do you guide it? Let me call it out. How do you guide love's presence from here to here? Breathe. Breath. How else? Speak up. Pay attention. Oh, I love the way she's doing that. Gathering all that energy and bringing it in. You know, yesterday I got to play Elvis. And there was nothing loving about 60-year-old hips trying to compete with a 25-year-old Elvis. Meanwhile, back at the farm, it is how we guide it is giving our attention. Where we are looking is giving our attention to love. Where we are listening is giving our attention to love. Our language is focusing in. Where you are putting your eyes, where you're lending your ears, where you're giving your hands and your feet and your soul, is where love is needed. Our time, our energy, and our resources to where the hero has been called. How many ever heard the term think globally and act locally? Say that with me. Think globally, act locally. This is what the spiritual path is. You come and we toss ideas around here, thinking globally, peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Think globally, let there be oneness on the earth, no borders and no wars, and that feels really good. And let it begin with me. Right here, right now, Cynthia needs to be reminded that you are the presence of love, and I see you. I behold you, and I'm here to hold you up when you can't remember that truth for yourself. I don't quote Charles Filmer very often. It is kind of a requirement as a Unity minister that I do this. I've got some juicy ones today. Let's put Charles Filmer up on the screen and let's read this together. Together, love is an inner quality that sees good everywhere and in everybody. It insists that all is good, and by refusing to see anything but good, it causes that quality finally to appear uppermost in itself and in all things. Breathe that in. That feels good. But who is the one being that you pick in this now moment, and the next, and the next, and the next? It gets deeper, because it's not just about that moment. It is far greater. It begins to appear in all things. The next part of that quote, let's put it up there. It's a little longer. Let's read it together. It is the harmonizing, healing, unifying, attracting power in the universe. In nature, it works as gravity. In divine mind, it is the idea of universal harmony and unity that works through us as a gravitational force for good. Pause right there. You are a gravitational force for good. When you take a step, when you reach out a hand, when you offer a touch, when you speak a kind word, you are attracting more love to the planet. You are attracting, you're not just changing somebody else's life. Cheryl, I'm not just there for you, but I'm, as the portal and the avenue of love's presence, also being blessed. Oh, but the expanse of that, the effects of that are far greater. Let's continue with this reading together. So that even the tiniest movement of a person's finger displaces atoms out in space, and the thoughts and feelings of our civilization combine to form a race consciousness which determines the future of all humankind. We may see this kind touch. I touched Judy's arm and reminded her. I saw Jean and I gave her a kind word or an embrace. We didn't even say anything. Yes, there's a benefit there. There's a benefit here, but by right of the very movement of unity, we are transforming the world. So many of us are standing around waiting. We got to change the world. Got to let there be peace on earth. Thinking globally, and we never get past thinking globally. The world will transform, the human race will transform when we think locally. Right here, Sarah is in need. Or maybe Sarah sees me and says, right now, Richard is in need. Be mine. That's the heart I want to give away on this Valentine's Day week. Be mine, Joe Hare. Be mine, and I will be yours. And somehow we are affecting, with a movement of a little finger, with a thought that is so powerful, a thought of love so powerful that the walls come down, the doors open, the mistakes are forgotten, and the world's a little bit more loving place. This is our job. And on Valentine's Day, I don't want to trivialize it anymore. Yes, it's wonderful. Get flowers for your partner and your spouse. Let them know you love them. They're yours for that day. But on February 15th, pick a new person and say, Joel Blackford, be mine. David Castledini, be mine. Liz Castledini. It was okay, David, be mine. How many people have ever heard the study of the 100th monkey? For those who have not heard it, it is really important about what we're talking about here. There was an island, and there were a bunch of monkeys that were getting sick and had diseases because their potatoes, or whatever it was, I think it was potatoes, that they were eating were dirty. They were just dirty, and they were catching diseases from the earth. And so they went in and they taught one monkey, how to clean the potato so that it was better for their bodies. And then they walked away and let it have its way. The other monkeys went, that's interesting. What are they doing? I want to do that. I want what they're having. And they began to imitate the monkey that was washing the potato. The disease began to stop. And there was a critical mass, a tipping point, where all of a sudden on this island, enough monkeys, I don't know if it was 100, but it was enough. Enough of them started to do the procedure of washing the potato that every other monkey on the island began doing it the same way. And the disease began to decrease. But wait, there's more. Islands, miles and miles and miles away. Monkeys who had never had the demonstration, had never seen it, who had never experienced washing potatoes, suddenly all began washing potatoes. We are energetically connected to each other, and that energy is love. And if we want to stop the disease of war, and we want to stop the disease of duality, and we want to stop whatever is negative or bad in this world, ours is to be the first monkey and to be the 100th monkey. To be the tipping point that changes the face of the planet. And can love do that? Yes, it can. In an instant, love can reach Russia and Ukraine. And right now, I want to take a moment for love to reach the people of Turkey and the people of Syria. We don't have to say anything, but I want to fall silent, and I want you to hold Syria and Turkey and the loss of so many people in our heart, and to know that it can and does reach its destination. We say to Syria, be mine. We say to Turkey, be mine. We say to China, we say to Russia, we say to Ukraine, and we say to the person right next to us that's hurting, be mine. What if we all focused on love like that at the same time every day? You can go ahead and open your eyes, unless you've fallen asleep on me already. For the same purpose, the unification of all creation. Coming back to the garden, remembering we belong to each other. I'm going to invite the band to come back up. And I want to share. Fillmore wrote this, the value of all service. Let's read it. The value of all service lies in the spirit in which you serve and not in the magnitude of the service. Even the lowliest task or deed is made holy, joyous, and prosperous when it is filled with love. I want to share, there are no small tasks. There is no small expression of love. It is necessary and it is needed. Many of you know that I was a foster parent, and I want to introduce you to two children that impacted my life in the most amazing way. Their names were Cheryl and Roberta. Roberta went by the name Robbie. Robbie came into our group home, having on a number of occasions a drunken mother in a rage try to drown her. She was afraid of her very shadow. And to even consider taking a shower or a bath was out of the question. Water terrified her. Cheryl came from an abusive situation as well. Incredible neglect. She had all kinds of diagnoses from the professional community about what was wrong with her. Mental illness, what's wrong with her. All kinds of opinions. And what we knew in our home was all these two little girls needed was to be loved. And I would love to say that it was easy to love them. It was not. Things got broken in our house. Other children got beat up in our house. Cheryl, even one time visiting my parents, my dad came home from work, and she screamed at him, "I hope you have sex with a woman tonight." Embarrassment happened publicly, yet we made a commitment to be patient with our love. And I would love to say that it happened overnight. It did not. It was years and years and years. In fact, both of these girls, we were the last stop before they ended up in a professional mental institution. Cheryl, at one point, was taken from our home and actually put into a straitjacket in a rubber room. And if you think I'm exaggerating, just talk to my wife. That's not an exaggeration. What happened? Love happened. Love heals, particularized from the, love all children, let there be love in this child. When we stopped our work as group home parents, Robbie was swimming laps in a public swimming pool and swimming in the Merced River with mighty currents. Robbie now has a child. She's living a full life, free from the diagnoses, free from the judgment, free from the mental illness. She pulled herself up with the power of love. Cheryl has 4 kids, 4 beautiful children. She has her own business. Love heals. And as psychologists, they're important. We had them on staff. Therapists were on staff, and they did their work, but it was love that healed these 2 little girls. Cheryl called us many years ago. We'd not talked to her for a long time. And she said, please tell me the words to the prayer for protection that you said to me every single night. She says, that prayer saved my life when I was out of control and I didn't know who I was. You came in every night, every single night, and said, the light of God surrounds you, Cheryl. And the love of God enfolds you, and the power of God protects you, and the presence of God watches over you wherever you are, in a rubber room. In your child's bedroom, God is there. And what she said to us is, she says, please tell me the words to that prayer you used to pray, because I want to give it to my children. We are in the business of network marketing love, network marketing spirituality. Narrow the field. Be mine. Be mine. And even in your emptiness, go find somebody to be yours. And love is expanded and expanded. And Marguerite's life is changed. My life is changed. But when it's passed forward, it's transformed the planet. Does it feel big that 2 children, there are more than 2, but those are the 2 most dramatic cases, found something within themselves and are normal, functioning human beings today? I don't take any credit for that. I was the portal through which love did the work. They were the portal through which love overcame. I'm asking you on this Valentine's Day to not hold back, to surrender to love fully and completely, not by a broad focus, not by a romantic focus, but by the focus of what Rumi saw you as, the alchemist of love, the Christ, the Buddha, the energy of love itself that does and will transform the planet one heart at a time.